Hi, welcome back to Fresh Faces, New Ideas. My name's David. If you're new to the channel or you want to get updates to when I put up videos or when I go live, please like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Faces Ideas. Now, this video we're gonna go over the most recent Tucker rant, that's worth it. He's talking about the change that America gets, and then I'm not gonna show you the whole clip because it's split between him talking about change and then him complaining about the Supreme Court, and that's just not relevant to this particular video, is the Supreme Court part. So he's going to talk about all the change and how there's been too much change. But the key to remember is all the things he's referring to, this drastic change, has happened since Joe Biden has become president. That is the key to remember. That everything that he's complaining about has happened in the last 3 months. So we're going to take a look at it and see what he actually has to say.
But first tonight, things are changing fast, in case you haven't noticed, much too fast, actually. People can't metabolize change at this pace. That's not just Fox News viewers or elderly Republican men, it's this whole species. Human beings are not designed for relentless, abrupt changes to the way they live or the way they think. And for most of you,
keep in mind, this is within 3 months. And he will say this later. But yeah, he is right. We are resistant to change, but the changes he's going to talk about are either not existent, insane, or he's just hiding some other fact.
In history, they didn't have to deal with those changes because they didn't happen much. Societies evolved slowly. 4th century France was very much like 14th century France. For 1,000 years, most people in France spend their lives following domesticated animals around the field and living in thatched huts.
So here's the other thing. It doesn't matter that before we used to advance slower, because with the advent of the technology, we've seen much faster changes because now we have more information, we have the ability to process it faster, we have the ability to enact change much quicker.
And then in the 1700s, someone perfected the steam engine and nothing was ever the same. Life for average people began to change faster and faster, and then exponentially faster. And this continued on. It continues now to the present day, a moment in which nearly every morning you awake to a brand new world. If you're over 40, you may have trouble recognizing your own country. It's just too unfamiliar.
So that's the crux of it. If you're over 40, you don't recognize your own country because of change. Technology is big and scary. Change is scary. We got to go back to the way it used to be.
Now, the self-righteous children on social media don't care to notice this, and when they do, they dismiss it, any complaint about change, as bigotry. But it's not bigotry.
No, this is not accurate. So the claim of change is how what you're arguing about the change. Either it is if you're complaining, oh, there's too many, my country is now all brown, and that's a change I don't like. That's a bigotry change. If it's I don't like all the trans people that are coming out, I don't like all the gay people, that is bigotry. If it's the general understanding that people in Tucker's generation don't understand technology, that is a different type of change.
It's human nature. Abrupt change causes social chaos, always. Human beings develop customs and habits and generational expectations for a reason.
And a lot of those times, the next generation pushes back on them. This happens every single time. The next generation is generally more open-minded and more willing to accept change and push back on norms. You can look at the 3 current generations. There's the baby boomers, who are all about their type of their norms and things like that. Then there's the millennials who push back on those norms, and then there's the Gen Xers, I think is the generation after millennials, who don't agree with any of the norms. So as generations change, you push back on norms. That's how society changes. That's just a natural change in society.
Random. Continuity is comforting to people.
But just because it's comforting doesn't make it good. Just because you're comfortable doesn't mean you're doing well. Doesn't mean things are good for you. Doesn't mean things could be better.
If you eliminate familiar things overnight, societies fracture. Populations tend to explode. We've seen that happen. The last industrial revolution, in the end, provoked armed revolutions. Hundreds of millions of people died. Germany got Hitler, Eastern Europe got Stalinism.
Okay, I don't know what's happening with that one. I'm gonna reset this video and then but to be clear, what he just said was the Industrial Revolution led to Hitler,
Even the most,
which is crazy because look, his argument is going. Actually, let's keep.
Go slowly. Choose the incremental over the immediate. People died. Germany got Hitler. Eastern Europe got Stalinism. Yes, we did wind up with antibiotics in the end. You could thank technology for that, and we do. But we also got genocide and atomic bombs. There's a lesson here. If you're going to change things, go slowly.
So here's the thing. So there's two things there. One, we end up with antibiotics, which we're thankful for. Although Tucker Carlson just came out with the most anti-vaccine statement ever. He said, because generally anti-vaxxers are, hey, don't give this to your kids because you don't know what's in it. And it might give them autism. But they agree it works. That's generally how they think. They think, oh, it's going to work, but there are these potential side effects. He outright said that the COVID vaccines do not work. That's what he said. Furthermore, let's go to this point. His argument here is, oh, maybe if we had the Industrial Revolution 10 years slower, we wouldn't have gotten Hitler. Why? The things that happened still would have happened at the same pace, just because things went slower. It's the real social changes that he's worried about. That's what his issue is.
Choose the incremental over the immediate. Explain yourself as you do it. Reassure people.
Now, when people do explain themselves, he says, oh, but now you're calling me a racist. For example, one of the perfect examples of this is gay people and having trans people. People like, okay, well, I don't like a trans person because I think it's genital mutilation. And then I showed you all the data, and then you still don't like that person. Well, I've already explained myself, and I'm right because I have the data on my side. It doesn't matter if I explain myself and you don't believe the things that I'm telling you. That's on you because I've proven my point with the facts. If you refuse to believe them, that's on you.
Acknowledge the reality of evolutionary biology. It is real. Human beings are not born to be machine components. You can't just bang out improved versions of your citizens on a 3D printer. People in real life are complicated and stubborn and hard to control. Even the most open-minded ones get jumpy when suddenly everything's different. Obviously, and you'd think it would be obvious. Wise leaders would know that intuitively. If you're going to have relentless technological change, and apparently we are, you cannot inflict relentless social change.
So what Tucker is basically saying, the whole gist of this is, more technology is bad because it comes too fast, and you can't change society to make it better because people are stubborn and they don't want to suddenly wake up to brand new things. Look, it's very rare that there's a sudden change, like all of a sudden, think about civil rights. Civil rights didn't just happen. It wasn't just one day they woke up and said, you know what, we're going to make African Americans who have been treating as second-class citizens first, they equal to everybody else. That wasn't just a thing. There was years and years and years and years and years of protests and advocates pushing for it and violence response to that. Same thing with gay people. This idea that change happens overnight is just not true. Change does not happen overnight. It is a push for it over a long period of time, and then it snaps into place. And it's the snapping into place is the issue.
Expect your society to survive. Things will fall apart if you do that. That's guaranteed. Yet that is exactly what our leaders are currently doing. They're changing everything, whether we like it or not. A new language, new values, new biology,
new language, new values, new biology. What is the new language of the United States since Joe Biden became president? I don't know of one. New values, I guess you can argue that yes, the values that Donald Trump proposed and the values that Joe Biden proposed are opposites because Donald Trump didn't really have values. His values were himself, and Joe Biden is genuinely attempting to be a good man. Like he does believe in good things. So there's that. And then new biology. There's no biology. It's a shifting definition of who's acceptable based on your biology.
Curricula, new social mores and hiring standards, and body types?
Okay, new curricula. The attempt from the Trump administration to do his state propaganda doctrine, the 1776 project, wasn't even enacted, or he attempted to enact it, and because it was so late in his presidency, it just didn't happen. So there's no new curricula. If you're arguing about what the curricula is, it's that we're now understanding how whitewashed our curricula was and the things that weren't proposed in it. Hold on, let's roll this back so I can get over all the points.
Are currently doing. They're changing everything, whether we like it or not. A new language, new values, new biology, new curricula, new social mores and hiring standards, and body types.
New social mores. This is the crux of a lot of what he's saying is social mores. It's now unacceptable for me to call to be mean to black people, to gay people, to trans people. God forbid I have to call somebody somebody refers to themselves in a different pronoun. Someone wants to be referred to as he, him, she, they, us, them. I don't know all of them. This is not actually anti-trans. I just am not in depth with what all the references to them. It's considered unacceptable for me to call these people, something else. And then what was the last one? New body types?
Hiring standards and body types?
Hiring standards. Oh, no. Now we have to hire people based on their abilities instead of on what they look like or their sexual orientation. Look, we know this does not mean, saying, now we have to only hire black people, or we only have to hire Asian people, or we only have to hire trans people. We know that there's been discrimination in these processes. We know that. There's data on it, a lot of it. So it's trying to fix that. And then, what was the last one? New bodies?
Language, new values, new biology, new curricula, new social mores and hiring standards, and body types?
I don't remember a release of the Human 2.0, which is, has 6 heads or whatever. Just look, all of what he said is just nonsense. And keep in mind, he's referring to the last 3 months.
A brand new national population.
There's a brand new national population in the last 3 months. That is wild. I don't remember that happening. U.S. change in population last 3 months. Doesn't look like there's data that shows that.
Because that's still not enough change. A whole new system of government.
A whole new system of government. In 3 months, Joe Biden has obliterated the democracy that has stood for 250 years that a little over 3 months ago we tried to destroy. Holy crap. I don't remember that happening. What type of government are we in, Joe? Or Tucker? What type of government? Because last night it was a democracy. But you're telling me it's changed? What type of government are we in?
That in 3 months. What will the consequences of that change, of that revolution be? In your bones, you know the answer. It's terrifying. And it doesn't have to happen.
This is his pitch to his direct pitch to his audience. Change is bad. They're coming for you. Be afraid. You know it in your bones it's bad and they're coming for you. And it doesn't have to happen. Keep watching me and keep listening to my propaganda.
What America needs now more than anything is a pause. A moment to catch our national breath. Take stock. Assess what just happened. A lot happened.
No. In fact, what America needs is the exact opposite. What America needs is a vast, rapid change in order to deal with the multitude of problems facing this country. Congratulations, we're now getting a handle on the coronavirus. We still have to deal with climate change. We still have to deal with how our economy is structured. We still have to deal with the proliferation of guns and the shooting epidemic. It's not just a mass shooting epidemic. I'm probably gonna have to do a video about, or this, or I'll do it in the live stream, but just talking about how we get further along in the dealing with shootings. It's not just the fact that we have so many guns. It's we have to do a cultural shift. So yes, I'm sorry your world is so drastically changing because it's becoming more inclusive and we're trying to solve some of these problems because there's so many. There's so many little problems that we have to take care of before we can get to the big ones. We have to start working on climate change immediately because we spent the last 4 years going in the wrong direction.
And calmly consider the best way forward. You want unity for the country? We all do. And that might bring us unity. But no.
Unity is when you go slow. Unity is centrism. No. The Republican Party at the highest levels refuses to work with Joe Biden on any issue. They give crazy statements about, Joe Biden wants unity, but he won't reach out to us because we're being unreasonable, won't vote for a single thing. Unity is not people at the top. Unity is the people at the bottom. The people on the ground, the American citizens, don't give a shit whether or not there's unity in Congress. We care what you do to help our lives. That's what it is.
The kaleidoscopic barrage of unending change continues. Yesterday, they informed us they plan to dismantle the last trusted...
So, I'm only going to go into this a little just because of who he attacks first. But yes.
Branch of our government, the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court, the last trusted branch of our government. Look, the reason Americans don't trust the election system is because people like Tucker lied to them. And then they use that lie to pass more restrictive voting. But yeah, the Supreme Court is not apolitical. It isn't.
Here's a congressman from New York explaining why they're doing it. His name is Mondaire Jones.
Mondaire Jones. Keep in mind who Mondaire Jones is. Mondaire Jones is the first openly gay black man in Congress. Mondaire Jones used to work for the Obama. He was a lawyer. He used to work for the Obama administration. Mondaire Jones is also my congressman, so I take personal offense to this because I love Mondaire Jones. I think he's a great congressperson, and I'm very excited to have him as my representative. So what Tucker is about to say is going to be absurd.
33 years old. He went to Stanford and Harvard Law School, meaning that in his short life, he has produced essentially nothing.
This is one of their talking points because it's the same thing with AOC. You've either done nothing special because she's a bartender, or because she's a bartender, she doesn't know. Like they go both back and forth. But he's produced nothing special. So as I already said, Mondaire Jones was a lawyer for the Obama administration. He's done a lot of good. But you know who he's not pointing out? He's not pointing about 25-year-old Madison Cawthorn. What has Madison Cawthorn done in his life except be accused of sexual assault, accused of lying about his car accident, lying about whether he's was accepted in the military, which he wasn't, lying about what's being passed to Congress, punched a tree. He hasn't done anything successful. In fact, everything Madison Cawthorn has done has been against the will of the people.
So none of it is real to him. So he's happy to blow it up. Why?
Mondaire Jones is a gay man. Saying that nothing is real to him because he's younger than you, as a gay man living in America, where gay marriage just became legal less than a decade ago, is an absurd statement. We're not actually going to watch this video. We're done with this here. So please like and subscribe, but we're going to continue. So like and subscribe if you like my channel, and that's good. For this whole statement, and a lot of what Tucker is going into, is he's now going to the vestiges of change is bad. They're coming to change everything. They're already changing everything. You can't openly discriminate anymore. You can't misgender people on purpose. They're coming for you with a new scary language that isn't a thing. He's fear mongering. They came with a new system of government. I don't understand how you can listen to him and generally the things that the Republican Party says and look at it with a straight face and say, yeah, this makes sense. Ted Cruz, I was just tweeting about this, said they want to pack the Supreme Court so that Joe Biden can attack your freedom of speech, your gun rights. What else? It was like an absurd freedom of speech, gun rights, school choice, and like a worship or some other absurd thing. And it's like you're just throwing buzzwords out there. That's all Tucker's doing. He's throwing buzzwords to his base that love those. They're afraid of change. They're afraid of the other. They're afraid of somebody else getting a leg up. And that's all Tucker's doing. He's targeting the other, and he's making claims that the other is already here. And the other is the reason that change, you don't wake up and recognize your country. Guess what? Our country needs to change. It needs to change for the better. There's a lot of problems to deal with. This is not helping. So please like and subscribe if you want to get more access to my videos, to know when I put them up. Please like and subscribe and follow me on Twitter @FacesIdeas. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.